If anyone wants to make a public comment, you can pick up paper up here at this desk.
It's just like, almost there, and it takes a little long, and then email myself. It's fantastic. And then I erase it. I email myself notes and then I'll have to share paper once. Remarkable. I really had a moment of panic today because I had taken some quotes down from someone about the commissioner's court story, and then I couldn't find the document. I had to put it in the wrong spot. I was like,
Everyone, please stand. Daryl, you lead us in. Yes, sir.
Give it honor to God tonight. Dear Father, we ask, oh Father, that you preside over this meeting, oh Father, as we assemble, oh Lord, in such a wonderful city. Lord, we ask that each one will show love toward one another, dear God. Father, let you be the one that guide this meeting, oh Father. Let our thoughts be good. Let everything go decent and orderly. Father, we ask today, oh Father, we pray for the mayor. Lord, we ask you to pray for the city manager, Lord, interim city manager. Lord, pray for all the council members as they lead this city to prosperity. Lord, we ask, oh Father, that everything just go well. Have your way, oh Lord, in this meeting tonight. Lord, let your will be done, that everything will be fair to each and every one. Dear God, we ask, oh Father, that if we pray this prayer, that Lord, it be done in the name of your Son, Jesus. We all said, amen.
Amen. Everyone, please place the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Texas flag. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. I'd like to welcome everyone to our special call council meeting. First item on the agenda is public, if they want to make a comment. Mr. Henry?
I'm first?
Yeah, you're first. Well, I can make it. You put you last.
All right, well, I'm gonna show up. Chief Praise Lord. But I'm Mike Henry, 313 Helen Street here in Cleveland. And I have been hearing rumblings that we're getting ready to sign a contract with a new city manager that has no experience as a city manager and has no educational credentials. And you may be a good guy, I don't know, but I understand that there's 3 of you that don't even want to go out there and see what's available. To me, that makes no sense at all. Why would you do that? The city manager is the heartbeat of our city. If we're going to grow and prosper, and we're right on the precipice of doing that, we've got to have a well-educated, clear-thinking person that can negotiate, and we've got to have him in the right spot. And I've heard people say, but he's a nice guy, and I don't doubt that. He may be the nicest guy in the world, but is he the right person for the city manager? You know, I'm 70 years old. I don't have a heart problem yet, but if I did, I want to go to the guy that's got the most educated and the most experience at what he does to work on me. I'm not gonna go to the nicest guy I meet and say, hey, will you open my heart up and take care of it for me? But that's what we're getting ready to do tonight if you don't think about what you're doing. And you need to think about it because, and on top of that, I just learned that the contract you want to sign has a golden parachute that will pay him upwards of $300,000. That's my tax money and these people's tax money.
All right.
If he's terminated, that makes no sense to me at all. Let's do the right thing and let's wait. He may be the right guy, but give him some time on the job and let's see. And let's go out and let's see what's available out there. I mean, it's not like we're asking him to work for $50,000 a year. Let's think about something before we do it. How much time I got left?
23 seconds.
How much?
23 seconds.
I'll give you another minute. Chris Williams, just curious.
Your glasses can't see anymore. Okay, my name is Chris Williams. I'm the wife of Stacy Williams. I grew up in Cleveland. This is where I lived when I met Stacy, engaged Stacy, and have been married for 33 years. Some council members have alluded to the fact that Stacy's related to or is friends with other council members, which is false. Some council members have stated that they have not seen his resume. That's on you. He's provided both a resume and an application prior to accepting job as a public works director. Few key pieces to his resume. He's been overall several departments within the city, developed and managed budgets over $2 million, has handled many aspects of HR, has written and implemented policies and procedures, has planned and executed traffic control plans for events and emergencies, involved in identifying and planning capital improvement projects, and has overseen approximately $40 million worth of capital improvement and construction. He has worked with a multitude of consulting engineers and contractors, has been responsible to review and approve commercial site plans involving various city aspects. After retirement, he realized he missed being a public servant, and when the opportunity arose to apply for the City of Cleveland as Public Works Director, he jumped on it. When he was announced at the council meeting October 26th, he was welcomed with open arms, announced to be a great addition to the city with 30 years of previous city experience at a city with a population of 15,000. Employees seemed to like him, responded to him. Everyone on council raved about him, at least to his face. Then the city manager resigned, left a vacancy at one of the most critical positions in the city. Employees asked him to step up. He told them he had no problem doing so. It was the holidays, Mr. Pennington was on vacation, New Year was approaching, he would be moving in no time. So Stacy jumped in with both feet. It was at that moment that all tides changed against him. People had questioned his morals, his integrity, and none of you have the right to do that. None of you know him. One council person has refused to even sit down and visit with him. Yet, when he was Public Works Director, that council person welcomed him and said, couldn't wait to be working with you, would support you in any way possible. I'm here for you. You just tell me. Another elected official raved on him till now, and now states publicly that man doesn't know a damn thing. He can do his job, I have no doubt. He's a man of character and dedication. He has the contacts and the knowledge to take Cleveland to a new level, but he can't possibly do it under this hostile condition and the constant attacks. You have denounced him for not having a degree, but you can't teach in college what he's learned in 30 years in a city municipality. You denounced the process of just moving him into the spot of interim and the fact that he's never been a city manager, yet that has happened in the city before. The city has hired a firm, has not always hired a firm for such replacement every time a city manager has left, and some previous appointments have never been city managers. If you are unhappy with the process or the manner in which the new city manager is chosen, then make your view known. But you have no right to drag Stacy Williams into the agenda with a personal attack. You oppose the method, but rather than explain the reason for your opposition, you condemn the judge and the person. Feel free to oppose the process and give your basis, but attacking Stacy Williams has no place in this conversation on the manner in which the city council is moving forward with nominating him as interim city manager. As I remember, am I done?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And she's sort of partial, I would think.
That would be correct. Well, other people have talked to.
Fred. Fred.
I'm sorry, you have 4 minutes.
2 minutes, Fred.
My name is Fred Terrell. I live at 403 W Street. I moved to Cleveland in 1998. My wife and I have been here 34 years. Been married 56 years. I served on the school board. I served on the county, Liberty County Appraisal District. I served here on this council. I also served on the EDC. I'm at an age where I'm ready to go to the house and relax. Yeah, what I see happening to my city, I just can't let it go. And may I ask what college you attended?
Mary Hardin Baylor.
Okay.
Question and answer.
Okay.
This
okay.
is, yeah, it's not really a question and answer, but
Okay. All right. Well, I went to college, got a degree. I've got 40 years experience. I wouldn't dare sign my name up for that because I know I'm not qualified. I've never written a grant. I never done a bond. I never did a budget for a city this size. Okay, the city of Cleveland is run, its constitution is a home rule charter. That's it, 25 pages. That tells us how their responsibilities, what it does. It tells you about the council people, how they're elected. It tells you restrictions about the city manager. And I just want to read a few things from that. You have a copy. Page 12, item B. This is in the charter. This is like your law. So this is what governs our city. City manager shall not be appointed for a definite term, but may be removed at the will and pleasure of the city council by a vote of the majority of the entire council. So when it says for a definite term, I'd like someone to explain that. That's gonna come up. It says that within a reasonable time for assuming office, the city manager shall reside in the city that is Cleveland. We had our past city manager, the one before, city manager for 5 years, and didn't live in the city. So it was through this commission, try to get that changed. I know this packet is given to everybody who's applied for running for city council. In the back, it specifically calls for the 15 people that started this charter in 1981. It's 41 years ago. I look through there and I see these 15 names: Joe Broussard, Ray Bounds, Richard Burnett. Oh yeah. Can you imagine that man 41 years ago is now our mayor? And he gets treated the way he gets treated? I think we're giving him a hand. So, it wasn't in the packet. You just got through.
no.
Just about through. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I asked you.
You're not, you don't need my permission to do it.
This girl is David.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Judy Davis. I reside at 1109 Toledo Street here in Cleveland. I've been there since 1982. I'm standing before you, I guess like everyone else, reference the hiring of the city manager. My research shows me, or told me, that, well, I already knew because I've been here before, that a city manager includes significant experience within the city government, and they suggest at least 5 years, as well as a number of educational and professional achievements. you should have a minimum of a bachelor's degree. You should have studied, I know something about accounting, our city planning, public health, business administration would be a lot useful. And most of all, have exceptional communication skills. Everyone in the community should know who you are, your achievements, and most of all, I want to ask you and pose to City Council. What agency, how was you presented to City Council? Also, how many applications? How many other people applied when you applied? How long did it take the council to go over your credentials and accept you? How long did someone on council check with your previous employment? As the people before me have stated, we heard that you came in from Public Works. The city and the citizens should know I have some knowledge of what type of job you did if you worked in city government other than Public Works.
Thank you, Darlene. Does anyone else want to speak to council? Do it at this time. We're through, okay? So, each. Okay, we're going on to item 2 is executive session. I'll talk to David unless there's a reason that the council wants to address the executive session. I don't see a reason.
I think we've already addressed all the legal issues that y'all had leading up to this meeting. However, you always reserve the right during the meeting if something comes up to go back to executive session. I just don't see any that y'all would like.
The next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Item 4, 5, 6. Has everyone had it on the council had a chance to look at the agenda? Are there any questions from the council as far as the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, if there are no questions or discussion, I might like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of item number 4, 5, and 6.
Second that, Mayor.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Lee, a second from Ms. Clay. Any other discussion from the council? If not, I'll ask for the vote. All those in favor, raise their right hand. Against, the same sign. Okay. Roll on. Item 7, this is on discussion and action. Consider and possible action on fireworks display agreement for 2022 with Celestial Displays LLC and authorize the interim city manager to sign the agreement. Folks, this is going, we usually spend $15,000 on our display fireworks. Celestial has come back with us asking that we'd like to go to $20,000 for I think 15-minute and $20,000 for a 20-minute. I talked to Ashley, she'd like to go to 20 minutes. Ashley, do you want to talk about it?
Good afternoon, council, everyone here. Celestial Displays is who we've always used for the July 4th event. July the 4th is a Unity Committee event. This is an event where donations are asked of our businesses as well as some of our vendors that we use within the city. So this is not something that is taxpayers' money. It is all based on donations. And we also mail out donation letters for this event. So we are asking for council to look at approving the $25,000 for the 20-minute show. This year, we are upgrading the fireworks to a more commercial grade firework rather than our basic fireworks that we've had. We've also looking at possibly adding other items to the fireworks display this year as well, as far as possibly working with Pineywood's Rooters as far as promotions to do a band as well. So we are looking to do a little bit more this year with the July the 4th event.
I think that's a good idea. And we usually get donations.
This is all based on donations, correct.
You wanna go to 15 or 25?
And he did give us two options, you're right.
You're paying 15 now, we go to 20 for 15 minutes.
Yes, we're paying 15,000 now for a 15-minute show. Due to everything going up, our fireworks have gone up about $5,000. So for a 15-minute show this year, what we've currently always done is 20,000. So we thought about going up a little bit and just making it 25,000.
And this will be a lot higher, right?
Oh yeah, these are commercial grade, correct.
And did you say most of this was donations? Is that what you said?
We always work off of donations for July the 4th. Yes.
Of course, the last few July the 4th have been sort of muted because of COVID.
Correct.
I'd like to make a motion that we do extend this to the 20-minute, $25,000 display due to the donation.
I'm also passing down the donation letter of what we send out so that y'all can see what the prices are that we ask for.
There's no cost to the city. This is the only event basically that we have every year. That's abroad for the community, so I would, just a lot of money, but I would go ahead and second that motion.
Council have any questions?
Again, it's no cost from citizens or taxpayers, it's all donations.
So we have a motion from Carol and a second from Mayor. Anybody else have any say? If you raise your right hand, if you agree, same sign if you're against it. Okay, item 8, consideration and possible action on discussion to terminate current interim city manager.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to comment.
Yeah, go ahead, thank you, sir.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone coming out tonight. I had tried to get the meeting scheduled for the civic center, because I know a lot of people wanted to come and find out what was going on. So that was turned down, okay? And that really bothered me. You know, this is our town. We live here. And to have people standing outside, that's not right. That's not clean. That's not how we do it. This all started with me around right after Christmas to New Year, that time frame. Bobby Pennington, who I really thought a lot of. I thought he was doing a tremendous job, young man, educated, bright future. You know, I knew that with his credentials, with his education, with his experience, with his knowledge, I knew that he was gonna be recruited by other people, and he was. Okay, so Bobby left, and we had decided to go out and get some firms to go out and do a search for a city manager. And we were supposed to do like a profile on what we wanted as a city manager. That was my plan, to do what we want as a city manager. What qualifications does he want him to have? We want to know the vision of the city manager. Okay, around the first week in January, I got a phone call. All my time that I've been serving on different school, city, whatever, for over 25 years, when I get a call about a meeting, it's always, can you make this day? Can you be at this meeting at this day? And if not, let me know, and we'll try to, work it out to where everybody can attend the meeting. Okay, I got a call that says, okay, we're gonna have a meeting on this day. Can you make it? Are you working? But I heard that it was, we have a meeting on this day, and if you're gonna be there, you be there. So nobody had said anything to me. I called the mayor. He wasn't really understanding what was going on. I called Ms. Clay. Then I heard through the grapevine that, we wanted to name an interim city manager, whether I was there or not. Okay. And Ms. Clay felt the same way. I mean, nobody's talked to me. Stacy, I don't have anything against Stacy. I don't even know Stacy to have anything against him. But Stacy talked to the other council members before this. Never said nothing to me. So how am I supposed to feel? I was elected by the citizens of Cleveland. I served for years. I gave my all. I give my all to this city, and I'm gonna continue to give my all, whether I'm on this council or not. I wasn't talked to, showed up at this meeting on January the 7th. We want this man as our city manager, interim city manager. And even suggested we're gonna name him the city manager. I hadn't talked to him. I hadn't seen his resume. He hadn't told me his vision. What plans does he have for the city? What type of experience does he have in residential and commercial development? What do you have ideas about the youth in Cleveland, about our crime rate? I mean, the things that you want to know before you hand the keys to our city to somebody. I hadn't got that. The mayor told me, I told Stacy he needs to get with you in Maryland. He never talked to me in Maryland. Then 2 weeks after the meeting on January the 7th, then he called me. And I'm like, okay. I went ahead and met with him. And once I met him, I thought he was okay. Okay, but I hadn't heard from him since. He talked to other council members. I hadn't heard from him. Marilyn, now, she's a lot different from me. Marilyn just, she just kind of saw the handwriting on the wall. But I went a different route. I gave him a chance, but I hadn't heard from him since. For me to attack somebody or put somebody down, I'm not about that. I'm about Cleveland. We are right now on the brink of lifting off in Cleveland. Our schools, we got 6A schools now in Cleveland. Look at the new baseball field, football facilities. People, businesses want to come here, the BNSF Railroad. We need somebody in that position. They got it, that's experienced, seasoned, knows what they're doing. He might be the person, but just don't just ram it down my throat. Let's at least look at some other people. I mean, that's not fair to me. It's not fair to the city. I represent the people. I have no agenda. I have no axe to grind. I'm not trying to run nobody off or show anybody up. I'm a grown man. I'm 62 years old. I'm retired. I got my pension, Barbara got her pension. This is not about me. It's not about my family. It's about my friends and neighbors here in Cleveland. You know, we really need to think about this. I read the article that Vanessa wrote about the city of Mont Bellevue, which is practically our size, maybe a little smaller, a little bigger, whatever. They did a nationwide search, strategic national research. They did a nationwide search and identified the top 3 qualified people to lead their city, to give their city leadership. And the council interviewed those 3. But how did we do? I still don't know Stacy's vision. What's it? I don't think anybody knows the vision. Where are we going? What we got planned for infrastructure? What we got planned for bringing new businesses to Cleveland? It's nothing about the position. This is about me, about our city, about Cleveland, our youth, our police, our firemen, economic development, jobs. I mean, this council, we're responsible for a lot of stuff here, man. It's not no place for no little petty jealousies and I'm gonna get even, I think Richard has been a mentor to me the last 2 years, became a friend. Richard is very passionate about Cleveland. Richard do not have to be the mayor of Cleveland. That doesn't define him. Richard's a retired businessman, okay? Richard is about Cleveland, trying to make Cleveland better. I mean, he's very passionate and he speaks strongly on that, and he's the type of guy, he's very emotional, and I understand where he's coming from because I'm a lot like that. I'm big, I talk loud, but I've been called a bully out of all things. I mean, I've been called a lot of things, but I've never been called a bully. I'm big, but I never bullied anybody. I never have. Everybody in Cleveland know me from Little League Baseball. Everybody know me. I'm about what's right. And if I can get loud sometime, or animated or whatever, it is what it is, but I will not stand by and let anybody criticize our mayor like he's a bad guy, like he's trying to strong arm somebody. All Richard wants is the same thing I want. Let's just go through the process the way Mont Bellevue, the way Conroe would, the way Dayton would, the way Liberty would, the way Willis would, like any other city. Let's just do things right. That's all I got.
Mayor, may I speak, please? I'm sorry, go ahead. Actually, I'm lost for words. I have seen ignorance at its best. I mean, totally ignorance. And all we asked for was basically to go through the process so that the people would realize and see that we wanted to do things the right way. If Mr. Williams wanted to apply for the position, so be it. That's fine. But we owe it to the citizens, to the taxpayers, to do the right thing. We were elected by the people, and I said this the last time. We were elected by the people, and we're the voice for the people. So we should do things the right way. And people seem to have a misconception with disagreement. It's okay to disagree. It's okay. But at the end of the day, the council as a whole should come to an agreement what's best for the city. I just can't wrap my head around it. And Mr. Terrell brought up the charter. And in this charter, it states, the city manager shall be chosen by the city council solely on the basis of his or her executive and administrative training, experience, and ability. When it says solely, that basically means only that. So that would make him suitable for that position. And also on the terms of the terms in his salary, it says the city manager should not be appointed for a definite term. But in the contract, we have a term. But may be removed at the will and pleasure of the city council by a vote of the majority of the entire council. We have things being run by 3 people. That's 5 of us. There's a lot of things been going on, but still nobody communicating with the other 2. And yes, I was one of those people that chose not to speak to him. Because if somebody gotta make you speak to me, and I'm on the council, I don't want that. So why didn't he speak to the 2 of us? And I totally agree with most of everything Mr. Lee said. So why didn't he choose to speak to us? It's totally wrong. Totally wrong. So I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. So as one of the speakers said, you need to think about this before you do this. Think about it. Go through the process, but do the right thing. It appears to me that someone has special agendas, secret agendas, or what. If we put all this effort on working toward making the city better, it would be better. We're in a county with 3 cities. And you can't even, you, the people of Cleveland, can't even deal with the other 2 cities? That's not good. That's not good. Each city should be working together to make things better, but instead, we fight against one another. We have a city that has a concrete company right here in Cleveland. You don't even have sidewalks for the kids to walk on. You don't even have sidewalks for the pedestrians to use. So where's the communication? If you put all this effort in doing the right thing, we could have a better city. How can you vote for wrong? I don't understand it. How can you vote for wrong? It's just simply wrong. Go through the process. If you don't have anything to worry about, go through the process. And why do you think this candidate is so for this position? Why he is the better person for this position? Why are you afraid to go out and search? Why? We had a recruiting firm to come here with the presentation. These 3 people chose not to listen. They didn't want to hear it. Someone that drove all the way here to Cleveland to present a recruiting process. They didn't want to hear it. Why? What was the purpose? So to me, this thing, you're going backwards. You're going backwards. You're living in the past. Why go backwards? Move forward. You see why people discuss and talk about Cleveland in such a negative way? It's because of things like this. Things like this. So-called leaders, this is not leadership. If you can't sit down and talk together and come to a mutual agreement, why are you even on the council? So the people need to stop and think about this thing. Stop getting on all these committees just to say you're on a committee. That's all I have to say for right now. I may think of something else.
Well, since I'm accused, I like being publicly and secretly being accused. It makes my heart happy when you're accused. So you can see that it's not bothering me to be accused, because you have the right to accuse. That's your right, free will. I'm not gonna call this person's name, but when we got into, as they said, it's a secret thing. Nobody told y'all about this person that they left a resume on the table in the executive session. But the person did show up for groundbreaking and introduced themselves as the new interim city manager. Never met this person, don't know nothing about this person, but the resume was on the table. So then the question was asked, why do we get this resume and we cannot have Mr. Stacy's resume? So then Mr. David also goes out and get, yes, here it is. I won't let y'all see the name, so I don't know if you should know. This is the resume that was on the executive table for executive meeting. Never met the lady at all, but people did, okay? So we asked, Ms. McWater asked, what do Mr. Stacy have? Mr. Williams have a resume. And they went out and got his, brought his one sheet back. So This was the secret agenda. This the one we looking at. We got this piece of paper after we asked why this was there. Don't know nothing about this person. None of y'all know nothing about this person, but we're guilty. Carolyn, James, and I. We're guilty. This person introduced themselves as a new Cleveland interim city manager after the groundbreaking. This one did. So, I don't understand what this big thing is, but I sit back and I'm sitting here watching. This brings me back to when we had that nasty, evil recall. And the people that they removed, that were voted to be removed, had done a thing in the world wrong. Not nothing, but found out truth. And they were legally bound because they found out truth. You gotta sit back and think, wrong don't last long. Lie might take the elevator to get to the penthouse, but when truth do come up the stairs, you're gonna look ridiculous. This man has not done a thing in the world wrong. He has not done anything wrong, just like when they did that nasty recall. Those three people had done anything wrong, but they were falsely accused. This man has an education just like this person. This person has the education that they interviewed. This man has an education. Same 2 sheets of paper. One front back. And as I was sitting there today, because I'm a prayer, I love praying, I said, show me what's going on. So I went on to Google to look up about the city managers and the municipality city managers. And it asked for MBA or MPA. And then it tells you everything it's about. Then I asked, does the city manager have to have those degrees, the MPA or the MBA? It said that it's recommended, but they got the skills and the knowledge, the experience. They they can do the job. But if they want you to go in and go head on and get the training that you need to do the job. So over 30 years with the city experience in Humble, Texas, yeah, I sent home because I want the world to see how Cleveland is. Yes, it is. Yeah. I want everybody to see what Cleveland's all about. So as I was looking at it won't even work in here. He can do the job. If y'all take the time to look, instead of trying to cut people's hands off. He has a resume. He has over 30 years of experience, just like this person does. This one sheet of paper that was hired before I even knew this man wanted a job. And that is the problem. People are upset because something got done right. We don't do things, let's tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And the reason that we came out the back of that meeting like we did is because the language and the actions back there was no good for nobody. And I made it clear that I would never go back in that room without police security, because that's how bad it was back there in that room. Yes, it was. The language, you just couldn't, I wouldn't even repeat the language that was spoken. It was horrible. And then the actions that was taken back there. Mr. Stacy, if I did nothing wrong, I'm not gonna, yes, Mr. Carter, Mr. Stacy, I was raised to respect people. Mr. Stacy has not done anything wrong. He has enough experience to do this, what he needs to do. He has not sneaked or undercut or tried to pay nobody or con nobody or ask nobody to sneak him in to do this job. Nobody. And I hold my head up high when I say it, because I don't run with messages. I don't do undercover. And some of y'all already know that. I'll call you out. So I'm in agreement with Mr. Stacy. I have nothing against him. I will not put him down. He has done his work. Ms. McDonald was here almost 30 years. Every person, every man that done came to the city hall door, Ms. Kelly McDonald had this trained. And then when she got blessed to be a city manager, she went and took her classes so that she could have that paper. Mr. Pendleton, loved him to the bone. He was here before I left for the first go round. Mr. Pendleton was a finance director. He knew all his numbers. But Mr. Pendleton did not have a degree for city manager. But when we put him in there, I hired him on his character and his integrity. Even though he didn't have a paper, degree on the wall for city manager, I hired him on because I already knew. Still a lot of people come to those doors that was not paper bound. So I don't understand what the big deal is. If the man is doing his job, the city is running the way it needs to be. That's it. And Mr. Pendleton left us in the middle of the ocean. He didn't even stay and finish what he promised to stay, to finish. He just left us out here. Somebody had to step in. Somebody had to step in because nobody was here. Don't even try to direct that ocean line. Nobody. He come in, he said this here, y'all give me 2 years. I already knew it was a catch when he said that. 2 years. And I'll show y'all what I can do. He did his 2 years. And he said, adios. And I'm proud of him because he's making triple time more than what he's making here. Because he has a family. So let's stop judging people. Because you don't know when it's going to be your turn. Your children's turn, your grandchildren's turn. You plant these seeds, they coming back up. Be careful for nothing. You watch me, Mr. Stacy.
Thanks. Carolyn?
I just want to say that a lot of that you've heard tonight has not been factual, but yet it's been thrown out as though it is. That's what we've been dealing with all along, but the long and the short of this is Stacey Williams is able to do this job. He's experienced to the point of doing it. He's got education. He's got good people skills. The employees are behind him 100%, and that's a very important thing in this city. And everyone that I have talked to, and there have been many that I've called and checked with, they endorse him 100%. They have complete confidence in him that he can do the job here, or any job that he's applied for. I don't have a problem putting him in this position if we didn't go about it in the way that they thought that we should have. Well, that's a different issue. It has nothing to do with whether or not he can do the job. Nothing at all. And of course, there are 5 people on council, and 3 are always going to be a majority. It's not always going to be the same 3. Sometimes it's another 3, but that's just the law of the land. That's what it is always going to be. So that has no bearing on anything. But as far as I'm concerned, Stacey's a very good man. He knows what he's doing. He's tried to talk to everyone that's around him. Some won't do it, and that's on them as far as I'm concerned. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm with Stacey.
Mayor, can I say something else, please? Can I?
Yes, go ahead.
And I'm listening to everybody's comments, and basically we were just saying to do the right thing. But I'm listening to the council to my left saying that Mr. Stacy is a good man, and that he might be. But the communication part, know how to communicate with the people, that is not so. Now, watching him just a few minutes ago, how he was sitting there smirking as Mr. Lee was speaking, okay? He was, and I know the audience saw that. I know you saw that. But at our last meeting, we had a citizen to speak, and that was my husband. Nobody knew that was my husband. And my husband was not here about the city events. He was here about an issue that he had came to the city for. When he asked the question to the city manager, what does it take to get a call back? He immediately attacked my husband, but he said people were attacking him. He said, you came to attack me. And if you look at the video, you will hear it. He did not come here to attack him. He didn't know him. He just came to ask the question because he had been to the city a couple of times trying to get some information about another situation. And as far as communicating, just like Mr. Lee stated, he still has not, even the communication with the emails, we don't get that either. So there is no communication. There is no communication. Just like all the police presence we have here tonight, there should have been an email to go out that this was going to happen because people felt that they were unsafe here. So there's no communication. Communicate with the people. Communication is the key to everything, but there is no communication. So no, I don't agree with that.
On our laptops, our iPads, we get our end of every Friday agenda, with everything that happened in the city for the week. If you look on your iPad, you'll see it. Bobby used to send them to us on the phone, which I'm glad quick, because people can get your telephone and do whatever they want with your phone. But on our iPad, Mr. Stacy puts everything for the week on that iPad. And I didn't bring mine, but it's all on there. Everything that happens on there. He even put on there yesterday when I read my iPad, it said, do not respond to the emails. If you need anything, call him. So it's on there. It's on there. And that $25,000 that they want us to pay for a search firm. Y'all know what we can do with that $25,000. Do y'all know? We don't have, we need more employees, we need equipment. That $25,000 can be added to find a piece of equipment or something. This is not the first time we have went out for a search firm. And it probably will never be the last. So, I don't understand what the crying is all about. It's a man doing his job.
That's your opinion.
Wow.
That's your opinion.
That's
You know, ladies, hey, I've got the floor now.
Also,
Dolores,
we
I've got the
was talking
floor.
about, other
Dolores.
things, the way we get cussed out back in that back room and
Dolores, let me speak.
It's sad, but you just let me speak. It's sad how we get cursed out, like the hardcore cursing words, and put bits in our faces and tell what they want to do to us.
Rudeness of language.
Are you through? Are you through?
No, sir.
I'm talking. You've had your chance. You've had your chance.
So, y'all have to really sit back and just really think about what's being said, what's being done. There's a lot of things happening back in that executive session that y'all never know about. Thank you.
That's why we'll probably have and never have another executive session, because of people like her, Carolyn, and them. You know, guys, let me tell you, I'm very passionate for this city. Been here 70 years. I've been right here. This city's been good to me, been good to my family. I do what's right for the city. And there's nothing right about what they're trying to do tonight. I have no doubt when I talked to Stacy as a public works guy, we could have probably been, we'd have never been friends, but I could have got along with him. I think he did a good job. I don't have a problem with him being public man. I wouldn't hire him now, but I have no problems with him as what he did as public works. But we're talking a whole different ballgame when you start talking about city managers and public works, somebody that's worked on streets. I feel like he's probably knew more about doing streets and doing some things than probably anybody in this room or anybody in this county. I have no doubt about that. I want to make one thing clear about the executive sessions. I told Ms. Dolores Terry and I told Mr. Franklin, and I'm not apologizing to anybody. I told them I would do everything I could to get them beat. Because when you don't listen to the city citizen, and you want to just sit there. So I have no doubt that if that's bothering somebody, then you better get thicker skin to be either on the city council or especially city manager needs a thicker skin. I never said anything, I've never cursed. Hey, you show me where I curse. Now, I come up here, I was called and said that they were having a meeting. This was Miss Carolyn McWater, her husband Jim Bloss, Stacy Williams, and our attorney were having a meeting, a closed door meeting on Monday. Now, did any of the council know anything about this? Did you, Danny? Did you, anybody? Now, Carolyn meets with her husband, Jim Bloss, and says, hey, we're going to discuss his contract. So I got a little upset. I'm passionate for this city. I have a passion. I want to see this. I've seen this city when we didn't do a darn thing. We didn't ever move. We didn't have progress. So I'm passionate on the things right, do right, and things happen in this city. I come down Tuesday. I admit, hey, I'll admit that I've got a temper. And I lost my temper. And I said some things to him. I apologize to him right now. But I said I would fire him. And I mean that. I mean that to everybody sitting here. He cannot be our city manager. He has come at this backwards. You know, we can argue all day long. We can argue. Everybody in here could have a chance to argue that we can decide, you know, if it's a man, woman, what qualifications they've got. We could argue all day long. But there's one thing, when you do not want to even post the job, you don't want to even post a job. I had 3 applications given to me that had degrees in accounting, degrees in management. Yet we're going to hire a man that has no degree, has no idea of what a city manager ought to be. He thinks he can come into the city of Cleveland now. He's got 3 people. He's got me, he's got Danny, he's got Marilyn already against him, and he thinks that's good. He thinks he's got the upper hand. He wants to sign a contract that's going to bind us for 2 years, pay roughly $350,000, $400,000 if he don't work out. So that's good. That's a good thing. I want y'all to know what's fixing to happen here if we sign a contract with this man tonight. If Carolyn wants to be the mayor of the city, let her run against me. She should have run against me last year. I mean, you know, if she's wanting to run it, her, Dolores, and James, if they want to run it, let them run it. But I'm not going to let the citizens suffer because of what they're trying to do tonight. And they just have no idea. I don't want to applause. I'm just telling you that things cannot happen like this. This is just wrong. You know, and I've talked to David. If this is not legally wrong, I think it's at least morally, ethically, and everything else wrong. He don't want to come to have it thrown a resume in. He don't want to even apply for the job because he knows he probably would be rejected. I've talked to the mayor of Liberty, I've talked to the mayor of Dayton. I've seen the same article that Danny saw about, and they took 6 months. He probably would be rejected off the list because of just the mere fact that he has no education. And I've been to college, I did, but I took out to come to work in Cleveland. You don't have to have a college degree, but I think it's a real plus when you're talking about managing a city. Is probably, if not, we're laying the groundwork for what this city's going to be when I'm gone. Because look, folks, I don't need this, but I am passionate about the city, and if you try to feed me BS, I'm not going to look at you and tell you it smells good and tastes good. And that's what's happened here. These people think they can meet behind closed doors, and then they can hire somebody behind basically closed doors. Never has even approached this whole city council to even ask us about a job. This is just so wrong in so many ways. You just have to understand that there's so much going behind our backs right now. You know, I've heard that James Franklin says I'm a bully. I know he told, Danny he was a bully about a year ago and told him he could kiss his behind. And he patted him. So, and he did that. I mean, but he's calling me a bully. Now, I don't know where that gets, and I know Danny's not a bully and I'm not a bully. I've, like I say, I've been up front, I'm up front with everybody. Never been nothing but up front. Folks, if this passes tonight, I've already reached out to the Texas Attorney General. This is something wrong. There's something wrong in this city when we're gonna vote tonight. These three people are gonna vote. And I feel like they've had many meetings. I can't prove it, but I just want everybody to know, like I say, if Carolyn wants to be the mayor, and you know, the only thing I ever heard in these meetings, he's a good guy. I think he would be a good city manager. We are picking on him. Now, Dolores got mad and walked out of one of our executive sessions. The last thing she said when she left that executive session said, I'm just gonna vote however Miss Carolyn wants to vote. So you tell me who is bullying and who's not. You did, sir. Okay. Hey, I just wanted this to all be up front. Hey, you know, like I say, I got mad at Stacey. I said some things I shouldn't have said. I apologized. I called Jennifer and apologized to her, and I apologized to everybody in the city that it might have hurt me. But I do not apologize for what I said to this man. He's not a good man. The only thing I ever hear, he's a good man. Y'all are just picking on him. And I don't know who's picked on him, but if you don't have a thicker skin that somebody can't pick on, you're gonna pick on him. Now, he's a grown man. We're in bad shape. And hey, let's just bring this to vote and get it over with. You know, I can't stand another 2 or 3 days of this constantly bickering. And you know, I'm not trying to put David out, but these people call him on a regular basis. I mean, on a regular basis, asking for his opinion of what we can do. Can we, you know, this started out with a meeting. I said, no, I don't think we ought to have that meeting. There's no reason. I'm telling you, Angela Smith, and I'm not trying to put her up, she's got more knowledge about this city than this whole group of us up here. And she's saying we had to meet an emergency session to get somebody to look after the city. And I know better than that. I had Hector Forestier call me. He said, look, my bosses have agreed that if you'll pay me, I'll come over there and work 10 or 15 hours a week till y'all find a replacement. I handed it to them. They all just ignored it. That was fine. But what I'm trying to tell you folks, we're not an emergency. We're not an emergency to do this tonight. I have no problem with Angela looking after our city. I feel much more comfortable with Angela than I do with this man here. And I think that's, you know, the only way I look at this, when you got people sneaking behind your back, you got people wanting to meet like Carolyn, you're either talking greed, you're talking power, or you've promised somebody something. I mean, there's a reason that motivates these people to push this man, which has no education. And there's a reason. There are people that'll tell you there are reasons. I'm not, like I say, if Carolyn wants to be mayor, let her run against me next year or next year and a half, whatever it is. She should have run against me this year. She didn't. She's the evil one in this deal right now. Carolyn McWhorter. She tells James, she tells Dolores, and I don't know. I think we probably either, like I say, I've called the Attorney General. I'm going to have him come in here. I don't know what he'd find, but I feel like there's probably if not a money trail, there's a flyer, a promise of an office, or there's something behind this more than just what you see here tonight. Because we're in no emergency. I can guarantee there's no emergency. I've been in this for a long time. I did it 20 years ago. Danny come in and Fred and the people on the council said, just all we want you to do is come. We'd like for you to just call balls and strikes. And that's what I've done. I've tried to call balls and strikes. And I've done it, and I feel like I've done decent job of it. Like I say, I've got a temper. I thought I had it controlled, but then this man brought it out in me. And, hey, I'm not gonna sit there and eat crap and this man tell me and Carolyn do what they do and I'm gonna not say anything. Hey, I'm gonna stand up and say whatever I gotta say.
Okay, you know, everybody kind of had their spiel on everything. And, on the way over here, I was looking at that, contract, which we're not going to executive session. I'm sure it's public record right there. Yes. $140,000 a year. Okay, if we decide that we don't need his services within 6 months, we'll have to pay him 2 years' salary. Now, I don't think of anybody or any company that's gonna hire you and they can't fire you. Most people put you on 6 months probation when they hire you. We're gonna hire somebody, and if he can come to work, fall asleep, don't do nothing, tell us all to go to take a hike or whatever, it's really nothing. We'll be on the hook for 2 years' salary. That's not fair. I mean, that's a lot of potholes, couple of jobs, police equipment, fire equipment, equipment for our city parks. That's not right. I mean, this whole thing just doesn't make any sense. You know, and it's actually embarrassing that we in this position. And I don't think any other city our size would be even having this discussion. We did like Mont Bellevue. We hired a search firm. The search firm that we was gonna hire wasn't gonna cost no $25. It was like $7,000, $68,000 to $7,000. So that, I don't know where that number came
Total
from.
bill, $25.
No.
7,000. I'm gonna take it.
Well, let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. You know, right is right and wrong is wrong. It's out of my hands. I've done all I can do. I thank the people that came and support, because at the end of the day, this is our city. Not just the people sitting up here, but the people out here. Y'all the one that put us up here. Okay? So, got an election coming up. Election have consequences.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak, please?
Yes, go ahead.
And basically, I was going to address some of the same points that Mr. Lee brought out. But this is asking a question. Is it illegal not to post or advertise this position?
Is it illegal not to post it?
Yes, sir.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so back to the contract then. If this contract is offered, oh gosh, I really feel that there needs to be some language in this contract to be able to terminate at will. Also, Mr. Lee mentioned about the 6-month probation. There needs to be something as far as a probation period. We need to have something in the contract, something to benefit the people of the city, not just to be able to award this amount of money or not be able to release this person if this is not working out.
Well, Marilyn, can we get to item 8? That's to vote.
I make a motion that we terminate the contract of the interim city manager. I make that motion.
Just the clarification, there is no contract, so just to terminate the interim city manager.
Without the contract?
There is no contract right now. So
Okay, well, raise that motion.
You make the motion
No,
to terminate?
terminate, I mean, Counsel that motion for right now.
Mr. David,
Yes, ma'am.
when Mr. Pendleton was talking, he asked, he was gonna go, he was supposed to be finished up, I think, it was all of December, something like that, and then he would go into his new position. Once he went into his new position, we could call him for any information that we needed.
Correct, he was on call until the 15th.
And we would continue to pay him. After he went
You
to.
weren't paying him, he was just.
After we went to the next month, which would be his time up, we would still call him, but we were not to, pay him. So, when did we stop paying Mr. Pendleton?
I'm going on memory, but I think it was the end of the fiscal. Was it?
January
January 14th,
14th.
that was
Okay.
essentially the 15th was his start date, so we did it on his fiscal, not accounting.
So when we agreed to hire Mr. Pendleton, was there anything in his file showing that he had a degree, a MPA or an MBA as a city manager?
I'm not aware of, you have to ask.
Angela can tell you.
Mr. Pennington has a degree in public administration and a degree in finance.
No.
And he also was
Yeah.
the city manager.
I understand that, he's my city manager because
He was
Kelly had
assistant.
trained him so she could be off sometimes. She had trained him. Because she couldn't get off, because she didn't know how to relieve her duties, so she could be off. I understand that, there was nothing wrong with her training him, though, she needed some time break from that. But, what I'm saying is, we try to find little pinpoint things, try to destroy somebody. And it just don't make no sense. If we had hired this person that was just, like this person here,
I don't know who you're talking about.
this gonna be going on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But since we didn't hire that person, that's why all this is going on.
But I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, another person. I don't know what you're even getting at.
This person
I never
had,
seen that.
she was on the desk in the executive meeting.
No, I've never seen it.
And y'all had
I've
already
never seen
discussed
that.
it.
Well, you can say it all day long, but I've never seen
It's just
that.
like you didn't know about none of the meetings when y'all did, because I got 3 phone calls.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
I
Okay.
hope that the Attorney General do come in so he can see everything that's going on in Cleveland. Like we tried to a long time ago, to get somebody to come in and look at everything that was going on in Cleveland. But then you call that they call that nasty recall to make sure that things get good looked at in Cleveland.
So what does that have to do with what we're talking
Which is the
about?
same thing that you're doing now,
No.
try to destroy people's.
I think we ought to get, if anything, I think we ought to recall Carolyn McWaters, and I may get a good.
And I think they should recall you too.
Hey, put your big pants on and come on after me.
I don't have big pants.
Okay, we've got a consideration and possible action on terminating the current interim city manager. That's on the floor. Do I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion just to cancel this contract.
Just to be clear, and I think that was the same confusion that Councilmember Lee had, it's, we're not at the contract yet, there is no agreement.
Are we on item 8 or 9?
8.
Hey,
Okay. I'm too fast.
and I'm gonna tell you folks, I'm gonna put this on every agenda. From this time on, it's gonna be on every agenda to fire him. And finally, I will get him fired, and I told him that. He laughed and snickered, but I'll wipe that laugh off his face, you know. Just give me time, you know, I've been here 70 years, and he thinks he can just come into our city and do what he's doing.
That's what he wants you to
But
do.
you're not a believer, that's good. You're not a believer.
And if you wanna really be serious, cause I'm the type of person when you wanna do people, Mr. Fred Terrell, that speech you made the last time. Don't read that you're not in your position because these certain people wanted you out of that position because you was, you're a good man. But you don't know how to communicate with the contractors and the engineers and other people that work around you. Because of the city money.
Lawrence, this has nothing to do with our council meeting.
I ain't keeping it real.
You're not keeping anything real.
I've been impressed, and
Fred, did you make it?
You know, the truth will be known.
Mayor, may I make a final statement? I just want to say, as I said earlier, I've seen ignorance at its best.
And I have.
And this is just like school kids.
Yes, it is.
Everybody here, and ma'am, please don't talk while I'm speaking. This is what I'm talking about. There's no respect for the mayor. The mayor is supposed to conduct the meeting. Yes, there are some things that he might be saying that people are not agreeing with, but there has to be some order. Where's the order? There has to be order. This is not right. It's so unethical.
And Richard, I just need to say a couple of things. I
You
do
got
not
the floor,
appreciate you calling me evil. I do not appreciate you
I don't
saying
care what
things that- Well, I know you don't. That's obvious in how you do things, but understand that. The police are here tonight because of a couple of instances that happened this week where he came in and just went crazy and was cussing and fussing and threatening and, even.
Were you here, Carolyn?
Yes, I was.
Were you here?
Yes,
Were you
I
there?
was. Yes, I was.
You heard it.
Yes, I was. Yes, I
I've
was.
told you, everybody, I'm passionate about this city. What she's talking about, this was after her husband, the city manager, and the attorney met. That sort of peed me off.
You have
If
no
we have a
idea.
councilman that wants to meet
You have
behind
no
closed
idea
doors,
what we were meeting
they've
about.
got, does it make any
That's-
difference?
yes,
Jim
it
Laws
does
didn't
matter.
ever need to be here, and the city manager certainly didn't need to be in it, and the attorney didn't need to be in it. That stinks, it stinks to high heaven. You can try to make that right. I got mad. I come up here the next day and I did chew on it. I won't take that, I apologize. I apologize to everybody here. But if anybody really knows me, do they really think I'm a danger? Now, they've got I get the police now. Let's get this straight. I called Darrell Broussard. He had Scotty. I told him I want somebody to be my witness when I talk to this man. So I got Scotty. I come to City Hall with Scotty. I told Jennifer to take notes. And I did say some things. I mean, I probably couldn't even spell some of the words I said. But I did lose my temper. And I regret that. If I could take it back, I would. But I do not regret what I said to this man. I do not have any problems with it. And if Carolyn thinks she can sit here and try to make me out as a bully, now what other incidents have I showed that anything?
How many times have we been in
Oh, my
executive session, Richard? And we can't speak of that because we're in executive session, but oh my gosh, the things you've said back then.
Okay, you too.
No.
It's just your
not
purely
me.
ignorance.
I don't talk.
Carolyn, you said, hey, this has got to be done. No question about it. And they're going to vote with your tail. No, I'm not making it up. No one's here saying what you're saying.
I have something to say. What about the time in executive session when you reared back your fist into my face and said that you'd like to punch the shit out of me in front of everybody?
Oh, I said that? Have you got the record that said I said that? I didn't say that. Danny, you said.
Hey, can I say something? This is my first city council meeting I've ever been to in my home city. I'm a veteran. I'm embarrassed by the business that's going on in this city. I am sick and tired of this crap that's going on among all of y'all. Y'all supposed to be professionals. Supposed to be Christians. Ain't none of y'all acting like it right now. You're embarrassing me. We're on Channel 2 right now. When is somebody going to speak up for this city and do what's right? This is ridiculous. I'm embarrassed. I don't ever speak up normally. I stay out of politics. But dadgummit, this is ridiculous. This is what's wrong with the whole country, our state. Now, if y'all want to speak up, then who is? This is embarrassing for all of y'all.
You're right.
You know?
You're right.
When does a man tear down another man or a woman, regardless of religious faith or race? Enough of this crap. This is embarrassing me.
That's right.
I love the city of Cleveland. I'm born and raised here.
Okay, hey, look, I appreciate what you got to say.
Man, come on.
You think I enjoy coming up here and airing our dirty laundry, but if these people are gonna push it, then I'm gonna try to defend it.
Yes, sir, I understand, but I'm gonna push it too. Now I see this mess going on.
Yes, sir.
I will be at every city council going forward from here.
Good, hey, I
I am
appreciate
not
it.
believing what I'm seeing here tonight.
Okay.
Chief, I'm sorry, this has got to stop. I mean, there's too
Okay, Hey, do you make the motion to terminate him or not? I mean, this is item A.
something to say before you go to that.
Ma'am, we're through with that. Ma'am.
I told you about
Item A, is consideration and possible action on discussion to terminate the current interim city manager, Stacy Williams.
Would you explain that?
I believe, I don't want to speak for the mayor, but the mayor put this item on here, asking for a motion to terminate an at-will employee, the interim city manager, who is not currently under contract. That's the next item.
So
it would be a simple motion to terminate the interim city manager.
But we got item 9 coming up.
Correct.
Well, if we terminate him, we won't have to consider that.
Well, you still do, but I mean, it's.
I'll make the motion to terminate him. And my reason being is because with all this controversy that's going on now, how is he gonna be law, even if we terminate him down the road, how is he gonna be law to our city? This mess was created by the council. This is truly a mess. And he shouldn't have to go through this. I mean, but if we had done it the right way, we had an executive session where we decided that we was going to go out and recruit. But all of a sudden, we have a special call meeting saying we wasn't gonna do that. So I make that motion. It's gonna continue. It's gonna continue. So I make that motion.
I have a motion from Marilyn, I have a second from Danny, any other discussion about the city?
I'll make a second and a comment. Brother, I don't know your name, but I understand where you're coming from. My wife probably been to 2 meetings out of 20-something years. You know what I'm saying? And this last week, this stuff, I've lost sleep at night. I don't like stuff like this. We better than this. What's wrong with doing things the right way? What's wrong with doing things decent and in order? And when we do that, all these personalities won't get all twisted up. You know, I'm sure everybody up here wants what's best for Cleveland, but when we don't communicate, you know, in mine, I got off track when I wasn't ever talked to. I was only talked to after the fact. That's the only, I mean, I still don't know the vision. What do you want? What's our mission statements for the city? I hadn't heard that from anybody. We just go hire somebody. And we don't even know, you know, what do you bring to the table? What are your plans for residential development? What are your plans for bringing new businesses, for our infrastructure, for buying new police equipment and hiring new police officers? But I second the motion. Go ahead.
Any other discussion? I'd like this to be roll call. So we'll start with Carolyn.
Vote again.
Okay. James.
Yes.
Danny.
Go for it. I made it second.
Mr. Lord.
I'm not gonna go destroy nobody. No, I'm not gonna be a part of destroying somebody. Sorry.
Resting for your vote.
I just said, I'm not gonna be a part of destroying anybody.
What does that mean?
So it's a tie.
Is she abstained?
I said, this is wrong. The man, what is he guilty of?
No, you're voting in favor of termination, yes or no?
What is he guilty of? How can I vote for something that?
Essentially, the legal implication would be she's not affirmatively voting for the motion, so the law would count it as a no vote.
No, I'm asking the question before I vote. What is he guilty of? I'm asking, what is he guilty of?
This is not a trial.
What is he guilty of? What rule did he break?
This is not a trial rule.
In the city charter, in the employee hiring, what did he do wrong to be terminated? What did he do?
With Dolores and everybody.
Mr. Mayor,
wanting-
Mr. Mayor, what did he do to be terminated?
Dolores, you haven't been here at this
My
meeting.
reason,
Dolores, you hadn't listened to the last 30 minutes of this meeting.
Mr. Mayor, what did he do to be?
my reason is I wasn't communicated with, and I've had one sit-down conversation with Stacy. Out of all this time, I know numerous times, and you talk to the other council members, spouses, and everything else, I wasn't included at all. I hadn't done anything to anybody. I mean, I hadn't been a part of the process. So I'm not trying to destroy anybody, but my loyalties are with the people of Cleveland and our taxpayers, the people that are paying taxes here. That's my loyalty. So that's my reason.
Again, Mr. Mayor, what did you give to, what part of the charter did you,
Dolores, hey, we're not trying to try him tonight. If you haven't listened to the last 30 minutes or an hour, then what would you ask that
What did you
question
do
for?
to be terminated?
He's not qualified for the job. What else do you need to know?
Why isn't he qualified for the job?
Dolores, I'm not, hey, look, folks, I'm not gonna argue the rest of the night with people that don't have any sense of what's going on.
Okay, so we're gonna fire somebody and.
No, we're not firing, right now, I'm saying.
Dolores?
You have not took the time
Well,
to talk to the.
we cannot fire him.
What termination is?
Read number 9.
Okay, item 8 failed, okay. Item 9, consideration and possible action on approval of an employment contract between the City of Cleveland and Stacy Williams for the position of city manager. I'd like to just first ask David Olson to tell us what he thinks about this contract.
Sure. You know, we essentially started with Bobby Pennington's first contract. I sent in a draft of that just to serve as a template. It's one that Olson & Olson has developed over the years to address some of the common issues that come up with that relationship. Brian Bagley, one of or the head of our labor and employment division, took a look at it. I didn't even tell him what was going on just to get a third-party objective. He said, well, legally the contract looks in order, everything's in order. The only real issue is a policy issue, and that's the severance pay section, which is what has already come up. Again, we as lawyers don't get involved in the policy of it. I have been asked the question, have I seen that before? No, I haven't. But I think everybody at this table is aware of that issue. So legally, aside from the policy decisions, it's standard contract for this type of arrangement.
Okay, you said that you haven't wrote up any contracts with severance like that. That's abnormal or normal, or you do that all the time?
Well, I mean, yes, that's typically part of these.
What I'm saying is,
no, I have not seen
in a situation like this, I mean, most people have a 6 months probationary period. Chief Broussard or any policeman or any other city worker, you know, that wasn't in Bobby's contract. I don't.
Yeah, you won't see probationary periods that much.
Well, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the severance.
Severance is definitely.
We'll be on the hook for how much, Richard?
24 months if fired within the first 6 months.
Did you figure all his car lines and everything, drove $350,000, $400,000?
So they don't know what we can do with $400,000. I mean, why would you have to have that in your contract if you're so confident of your ability to do the right thing? I mean, why do we need that?
Does the charter allow?
Does the charter allow that kind of a contract?
Well, that's a funny issue. It's something I typically would handle in executive session. Those things do get challenged. There is the real intent of a no definitive term, although some charters tend to elaborate more on that issue, is to prevent the un-at-will position. This is standard in the industry. Those types of arguments have been argued in front of a judge. We have yet to have a decision come through on that particular issue. Yeah, it gives me some concerns, but it is generally accepted practice in city management to entertain an arrangement like that, despite having a contrary or a charter provision about at will.
So if you're not gonna go by the charter, what's the purpose of creating it, if you're not gonna abide by it?
That, the language in case law has somewhat eroded the meaning of that over the years, but that is, again, most cities do have a provision just like that.
Well, under any circumstances, I don't think that the city of Cleveland should have somebody hanging $400,000 over their head. It's not right. It's not right. A lot of things can go wrong, you know, on any job. And for us, we don't have that kind of money here. And we got a lot of poor people here barely paying these taxes, a lot of senior citizens, $700, $800 a month. $400 a month, go to their medication. That's who I'm looking out for. That's not right. It's not fair. You know, somebody that I've talked to one time, I just don't support it. So, you know, if it's an attack or I'm being a bully or, you know, so be it. But I think the people here in Cleveland, they know my character and I've been here a long time and I'm like Richard, I'm not going nowhere. So have at it.
Well, if I may say this last
Go
thing,
ahead.
I think this is all about power and control. It's not right, it's not professional, and it is just simply wrong, just wrong.
I'd just like to tell the audience, I have no vote. I can't vote. Now, I can vote in a tie. But other than that, I've got to go by what these people do, you know. But it is what it is. Stacey, do you want to say anything? You have about 2 minutes.
You're going to, after all this, you're going to give me 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Really?
Wow.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
You got the floor now. Your time is running.
Oh, is it? I've sat here through 2 meetings of people that don't know me coming to this podium and questioning my integrity and my character. I'm going to simply speak on this contract. The reason the contract was structured the way it was, David gave me a copy of the former city manager's contract to redline. I wasn't going to make a lot of changes to it. I was going to leave it pretty much as is. The salary hadn't changed. The only thing that I changed in it was the vehicle allowance. I increased it because it was low. And the reason that I put the terms in there that I did of the 6 month, if I'm terminated within 6 months, that I want the entire contract paid is because I have been threatened by the mayor that he is going to terminate me. He's made that very clear. So I have to do things that I have to do to protect my wife and my family, which are sitting right out here. They've endured this for 2 meetings. They elected to come, okay? I also put in there that if I'm terminated after the 6 month period, that they're to pay me a year or whatever's left of the contract, whichever's less. I had no intentions of doing any of this until the last Wednesday when this man came to my office and blew a fuse. I am caught in the middle of a political problem. There's an election in 2 months. They've rallied the troops. There's people running for office. And if the council is overturned, he's going to get his wish because I will be terminated. So,
I told you I was going to get these 2 people out.
And you did.
Okay. I don't hide anything from you.
You're a good man.
But I am, no, and this is my turn.
Go ahead, go ahead.
This is exactly what's happening. Had all this situation not came up, I would have had a standard contract. But I have to do the things that I need to do to protect my family. I have been here day in and day out. The employees want me. The majority of the council wants me. I'm just trying to simply do a job. Really hard to do my job when I'm constantly under attack. And this is going to continue, and I'm aware of it because of the caliber of people that we're dealing with. But I'm up for the challenge. I'm not running. I just wanted to justify and explain the reason this contract is written the way it is. Because I have to protect my family.
The mayor, no matter what he says, don't have the power to fire you. You have to be the council.
You're correct, sir.
Okay, but in any city manager's job, any city manager work his own salt. Okay?
Yes, sir.
They deal with elections every year. Every year that council gonna change, and it can change for you or it can change against you.
And I'm fine.
The first time I talked to you, I told you, man, look, you're going down the slippery slope when you come into a job playing numbers games.
Sure, I understand.
See, you ignored me for about 3 weeks, and you wouldn't even talk to me, brother. Okay, you wouldn't talk to me.
It took me a week to get you.
No, brother.
I've got text messages.
No.
Where
I got it
text
too.
You, and I text Miss Clay, and you're the only one that reached back out to me.
You got in touch with me after the fact. You had to be told to talk to me.
That is correct.
You were told to talk to me.
That is correct.
Well, how do you think that made me feel? No, now you say your family out here.
When you and
But
I,
my family out here too.
when you and I left that conversation,
Yeah.
you told me you felt better.
I did.
Good about the
I
conversation.
did. But you hadn't said nothing to me since. You had all these other meetings
No,
with
sir.
all these other people.
I have.
You hadn't reached out to me.
You've not come to me with any issues. We've been running the city. Things have been good.
No, Stacy.
No, they've not been.
All the stuff that's been going on, you could have reached out to me. I've been doing this a long time. I know how the game goes. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
You've been a city manager.
No, I've been in the city business.
You've been a city manager.
No, I haven't.
Fred.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
that we hire Stacy Williams as our city manager and execute the contract tonight.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard Ms. McClure. She wants to approve this.
He can do the job, there's no doubt about it.
Oh,
And
Carolyn,
if you
I'm not going through that.
If you'll back off of him and let him, he'll do it.
Oh,
He said
Mayor
he's been doing
Carolyn,
it for the
don't
past
come
2
to me
months.
with that. Hey, he'll never be a city manager.
No. Well, you're-
Okay, we got a motion. James, did you second it?
Yes.
Okay, folks, James Franklin seconded this motion. You're actually being put hostage because somebody wants a golden parachute.
Mayor, may I just, before y'all take a vote, there are some technical housekeeping matters.
Go ahead.
Related to the contract. We need to change the numbering. If you look at the wording on section 5, severance pay, we need to add in the middle, if the employee is terminated by the city after 6 months of disagreement without cause while reemployed, just to make sure we're talking about the same person. Simple addition. Still willing and able to perform the month. The city agrees to pay employee cash equal to 1 year aggregate salary, just to avoid a situation where he has 2 months on his contract, determined he's not entitled to a year. That's why he mentioned the remainder of the contract or whichever is less. It's just not in the written contract, so I ask that the motion be amended to reflect those three.
Let me ask you something, David. I just want to know, is this enforceable if it's pushed?
There are some gray areas.
I want to say one more thing. When you're talking about, you talking to the employees, and the employees want you, you got council people doing surveys to the employees. Now tell me, any person on any job, if your boss come to you and say, well, do you like me? Do you want me to be your boss? You can tell them no.
Never done that.
Anybody in their right mind? So that doesn't carry any weight with me by y'all saying that all the employees like me.
There's a few employees in the audience. Have I approached y'all and asked any of y'all that?
I didn't say you did. I didn't say you did. Well, we have one that said she had called and talked to all the employees.
I'm just clarifying it.
Okay. You wasn't listening?
What did I say?
You didn't say.
That's what Ms. Lanisha put in the newspaper. I never once said I called.
No, I didn't say you did. I didn't say you did.
Okay, hey, look, guys, we got a motion on the floor from Carolyn McWaters that she wants to pay this man. That's what we want to do, and that's what she wants to do, let's do it. Got a second from James Franklin.
Richard, I need to amend my motion to reflect the three things that
David said.
David's talking
Okay.
about.
You want to take that salary off for 2 years?
No, I don't.
Why would you want to do that?
Because you're threatening to fire him every 5 minutes.
I'm gonna have it on the agenda for every meeting. And I'll finally, we'll get it, then we may, you're gonna cost the city, but that's, hey, you're willing to do it, that's great with me.
Well, I just don't think that's fair to the taxpayers. That you hold $400,000 over our head. That's a lot of streets that need paving. You know, park equipment for our kids, for our youth programs. Come on, man.
And I'm gonna mention it one more time. This is a lady that met with her and her husband, met with the city manager and Stacy and a lawyer. So really, what's going on here, folks? I mean, I'm gonna go to the Attorney General. It may not go anywhere, but it should. I think you need to be investigated. But we've got a motion on the floor from Carolyn, a second from James. Any other discussion by the council member? All those in favor, roll call. Carolyn McWaters.
In favor.
Marilyn.
Favor.
James.
In favor.
Danny.
No.
Dolores.
Yes.
So he's got a contract. Motion to adjourn.
No, can I say something?
We're fixing to adjourn.
May I say something? I want to make sure that Mr. Stacy be able to come in here Monday through Friday or 7 days a week and be able to do his job in peace and do what he needs to do with his city.
Whatever kept him from coming.
I want to make sure it's on record that he's able to come in and do his job in peace.
Okay, so you don't want me to come to City Hall?
I never said that. I said I want to make sure.
Do you mean that I can't come to City Hall?
I said I want to make sure he can come and do his job in peace. And I like it put on record.
You can make a motion. Marilyn